Welcome once again to another edition of Let's Play WWE 2015. We are at the last leg of the race, the last stop on the road to WrestleMania 31 at Levi's Stadium in San Francisco, California, or wherever the heck it was, in some place in California. I do know, though, it was at Levi's Stadium. But that's beside the point, because right now we are at WWE Fastlane. And this is the largest pay-per-view I have done. And by that I mean, well, segment-wise, I do believe it will be the largest pay-per-view I've done. And yes, you could say you've only done 4 pay-per-views, but that's beside the point, because I've just gotten better every pay-per-view I've done. Compare Royal Rumble to Survivor Series, and it's an increase 11 in ratings. So, you tell me just how good things have gotten for us here in the WWE over the last 4 months, and I'll tell you just how good things will keep getting with my direction becoming a little bit more clearer and clearer by the day. You want to make a comment? How about you make a comment about the fact that Ryback is on the pre-show with Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze opening the show? There is another segment that I want to include. I just don't know where to include it, so let me give me a second. Well, we're gonna put it in another match, so yeah, I guess I can. Where's the 6-man? Okay, right here. So 4 segments. Okay, let's throw in the match first to break up the segments, and then we'll put in the match. It is going to be Chris Jericho versus the man making his WWE pay-per-view debut. Yes, last month, Joe and the Abyss fought on Impact, apparently. But 3 days ago, Joe made his WWE debut because Adam Pearce couldn't help himself. Now, tonight, Joe makes his WWE pay-per-view debut against the best in the world, Y2J Chris Jericho, and I'm WWE, so you had to figure I was gonna go with a draw. Unfortunately for Y2J, Y2J wants to win everything. But he ain't gonna win this one, because either he's going with a draw or he's putting him over. So, since I don't want to really piss Jericho off, yeah, that's where I wanted to put it. Since I didn't really want to piss Jericho off, I figured, why not just give him that? This is beside the point. There's a lot more important stuff I need to do. Like, where is it? I realize I should have looked for this before I started recording, but not my problem. Just give me a second. Oh, here it is. Mock funeral. Version 2. Two allies hold a mock funeral for another's wrestling career. Here we go. Seth Rollins. And who else? I don't know. How about J&J Security? Okay, I guess I gotta kibosh another one. Where is he? There he is. And Jamie. Talking about Randy. Yes, this is the reason why I put the kibosh on that talking segment for the announcers, because I needed more time for Rollins and Orton to actually have a segment, because Orton is back. Randy's back in the WWE. And what better way to have him do it than the way to attack J and J and have Rollins run like a scalded dog with a case of the liver towel away from the match. Or away from the ring. And that leads to one last segment. A heated confrontation between Seth and Randy, because, my friends, though this isn't exactly how they did it in WWE, I'm not WWE in every facet of booking. So now, my friends, let's jump into this. Let's jump into what I believe is probably by far one of the biggest pay-per-views I have done, segment-wise, in this season. I just want to book one more match. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save it for Raw. I was going to book a Battle Royal, but I'm going to save it for Raw. So, now, yes, I will tell you this, that this, my friends, was one of the more anticipated, or one of the, I don't want to say more anticipated, but it was a built-up match with Christian and the Attitude Era against the New Day. But let me put it this way: this game bases some things off of popularity and status in the ring. Kofi and Big E are upper mid-carders, and Xavier is a lower mid-carder, and my friends, that is exactly the reason why Xavier took the loss in the match, because he was the lowest on the totem pole. And Mark and Big Show and Christian are all in the 70s in popularity. Big E and Kofi are in the 60s. And I don't think that all three of them would... Well, I'll put it this way. They did the favors for him. Mark did the favor for him by putting him over, by, being taken out and losing twice. Christian and Big Show did the favors for them a couple weeks ago on SmackDown, losing in the main event. So now it was time for New Day to return the favor. Now we move to the second pre-show match tonight, and it is Ryback against Jack Swagger. Swagger loses, of course, to Ryback with the help of Zeb Coulter, who interfered in the match, allowing Ryback to pick up the win over Swagger. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of this nickname for Ryback, the Prince of the Pre-Show. Let me know down below. Now we move forward as the opening match for the show, for the pay-per-view tonight. The first ever edition of Fastlane sees Tyler Breeze go up against Dolph Ziggler, and Tyler Breeze falls victim to the zigzag, and Dolph Ziggler gets the victory in what was actually a really good match for Tyler's first legitimate pay-per-view debut here in the WWE. I just gotta say this, not everybody can win it. Not everybody can win in their debut. And by the way, I just also want to add, just because he lost the match doesn't mean Tyler's time in the WWE is over as a credible threat or a future champion in this company, because unlike Vince, I actually like Tyler. Now, think back to a couple weeks ago. Kurt Angle made his in-ring return to the WWE a couple weeks ago on Raw, and following his match, Ken Shamrock made his return to the WWE by attacking the Olympic gold medalist, and Shamrock made his presence felt, and now, actually I think it was this past episode of Raw when that happened, and now Angle wants to know why he attacked him, but instead of doing the traditional sense, he calls out Ken Shamrock and tells Shamrock that if you wanted to get in the ring with the Olympic gold medalist, then all you had to do was ask, Shamrock. So how about this? You come out here, you face me man to man, and you accept my challenge for you and me to go one-on-one. He turns around and looks, and then points at WrestleMania. Shamrock comes out, cuts a short promo about how people always said that him versus Kurt Angle would be a dream match because it's the MMA's best versus the guy who never tried MMA but probably could have succeeded at it. Both guys on the wrong end of 40. Both guys not getting any younger. Shamrock accepts to make the dream match official between Ken Shamrock and Kurt Angle. What I also want to know is this. Let me know down in the comment section if you would like to see Brock Lesnar versus Ken Shamrock before Ken Shamrock gets sent back to free agency. Or before Shamrock's contract is up, I should say. If you want to see that, let me know down in the comment section. And hell, maybe I'll make that a special for a Raw or something to that effect. But let me know. Because right now, I'll be honest, Shamrock's just here to feud with Angle and that's it. Now we move to our second match of the night, and it starts with a video package showing us how we got to this point for the Fatal 4-Way Divas title match between Natalya, Paige, Mickie James, and AJ. And the match goes like this. Well, if you want to know how it ended, think about Extreme Rules and the Intercontinental title Fatal 4-Way with Cesaro, The Miz, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. And that's exactly how this match ended. But Paige and AJ are Sami and Kevin, because Paige and AJ take the fight to the outside, allowing Natalya to make Mickie submit to the sharpshooter right in the middle of the ring. And Paige and AJ are nowhere to be found because they're on the outside going at it with one another and totally miss their opportunity for to break up the submission, allowing Natty to win back her WWE Divas Championship. But I can tell you this much before I get into this promo from The Miz, that the feud between Paige and AJ is far from over and will be ending at Levi's Stadium at WrestleMania, and as well, the feud between Mickie and Natalya will be ending at WrestleMania as well. Now, and there will be a twist in both feuds that you'll have to watch in the coming weeks to find out exactly what that twist is. Now let's get to this promo from The Miz, as The Miz says that he never really lost the Intercontinental title. You know what, I'll say it in the first person. I never lost the Intercontinental title. People in the WWE are jealous of me because they think at any second I could get on a plane and never come back, because if a movie comes calling, they don't call me an A-lister for nothing. I keep turning down roles in movies like Fast 7, like to reprise the Die Hard series, or maybe replace Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, because everybody knows I'm more of an A-lister than Tom Cruise. But now, those things are put aside, because tonight I get back my Intercontinental title from that lunatic Dean Ambrose. I bring prestige and honor to that title. All Dean Ambrose does is make me want to disinfect it when I get it back. I guess The Miz is now how do I put it? A psychic? Because with the help of his protege, Alex Riley, he defeats Dean Ambrose to win back the Intercontinental title, and also, just for good measure, uses a handful of tights. I don't know why the game didn't include the Alex Riley involvement, but Alex Riley did get involved. I remember putting it in the agent notes, in the road agent notes when I was booking the show. But either way, The Miz is now, I believe, a 6-time Intercontinental Champion. The Miz is actually now in a tie with Rob Van Dam and Jeff Jarrett for the second most title reigns with the Intercontinental title, at 6 reigns as Intercontinental Champion, with his title win earlier tonight from Dean Ambrose. Now we move forward as Renee Young is backstage standing by with ECW. With the ECW originals, Rob Van Dam, Rhino, and Tommy Dreamer. And the first thing Rob says is, "Look, Renee, yes, we may be known as the ECW originals, but we're not together because of ECW. We're together because we are best friends and brothers, because of what we accomplished in ECW. These two guys have stood by me for most of my career, and I wouldn't want anybody else fighting with me against Sheamus, Barrett, and Rusev than these two. Now we move backstage into the League of Nations locker room as Sheamus, Bad News, and Rusev all agree that tonight they make an impact and make it where people remember the name League of Nations. Now, then we move to a history package highlighting the history which started back in November between Rusev and Rob Van Dam, and how we got to this point, and how Bad News, Sheamus, Tommy, and Rhino all got involved in what was once a 1-versus-1 feud. And now we move forward into the match as the League of Nations wins their debut as a tag team, or a trio, against Tommy, Rob, and Rhino, and Bad News defeats Tommy Dreamer with a wasteland to put down, as they call themselves, the Band of Brothers, the Best Friends, but as I'm going to call them, the ECW Originals. In what was actually a pretty decent match, in my opinion. Now we move backstage as Stardust and Goldust are talking about last week's episode of this past Thursday's episode of SmackDown, when Goldust cost Stardust the Fatal 4-Way due to botched interference and accidentally hitting Stardust. And Stardust tells Goldust, I'm willing to put what happened on Thursday aside, because tonight we become 4-time WWE World Tag Team Champions and get back on top of the WWE Tag Team division once again. That sounds great, but how are you so sure? Because I saw it in the stars. It was worth a shot. I butchered it, but it was worth a shot. We jump into now the Ascension versus the Usos versus Cesaro and Kid versus the Dust Brothers in a 4 corners tag team title match. And Cesaro and Kid send packing the Usos, the Ascension, and the Dust Brothers in a 4 corners elimination tag team title match to retain the WWE World Tag Team titles and once again put the trio of Cesaro, Kid, and Natty on top of the WWE, because Natty's the new Divas champion and Cesaro and Kid keep the tag titles. So those three are by far the hottest trio in WWE today. Now we move forward with Kevin Owens talking about John Cena. And Owens says something to the effect, Owens I think could cut a capable promo on anybody without being told what to say, because that's Kevin Owens. So I would tell Kevin, talk about why you hate Cena. Talk about how you're going to win tonight and prove your critics wrong that the Royal Rumble was not a fluke, and that you are better than John Cena, and that you are going to beat the face that runs the place, because you are the future of this company. Once again, traditional WWE highlight the big feuds, and this has been a big feud. So, it's been building up since TLC, when Kevin Owens cost Cena the number 1 contender triple threat TLC match with Ambrose and Randy Orton for a shot at Brock at the Rumble. And it's been building up since then, and it also includes their Royal Rumble match, with which Kevin Owens won. Cena comes out and cuts a short promo, basically saying, the time for talking is over. Kevin, you got as big an ego as I've seen on anybody to walk through that door. But just like everybody else, I've seen a lot of people come and a lot of people go. You want some? Come, get some. Owens, Cena steal the show with an 81. And Cena is victorious against Kevin Owens with an AA, after once again stealing the show, in my opinion. And then once again, much like when Cena won the second match in their series of matches following WrestleMania last year, leading into Money in the Bank and Payback and Extreme Rules, a trio of pay-per-views. Kevin attacks Cena. Kevin attacks Cena and powerbombs him on the apron, just like he did in their feud. I'm booking their feud from the middle of last year, the exact way WWE did, because it worked to perfection. It worked to perfection. They did it right, and I'm doing it exactly the way they did. I'm just doing it 6 months sooner, or 3 months sooner, whatever, 4 months sooner. Sorry, but either way, Cena's down and he looks hurt. But now we jump back to Michael Cole and his cohorts as they build up the main event. Daniel Bryan, the Team Hell No and MVP versus the Wyatt family in a 6-man tag team match. But before they can go to the video package for the main event, they say an altercation's happening backstage, and we get a camera back there. When we get a camera back there, we see Paige and AJ are going at it backstage, and they are brawling with each other backstage, as it doesn't seem like that they got enough of each other in the match earlier tonight, and it takes a whole host of road agents and backstage staff to pull them apart. But you can tell the hatred is almost too tense for them to be in the same arena together. And it looks like the Authority may have to step in, but to find out what happens next between AJ and Paige, you'll have to wait and see what happens on Raw. Because right now, we are heading to the next match, and it is Jericho versus Joe. And of course, Jericho versus Joe goes the time limit and ends in a draw. Goes to time limit and ends in a draw due to double countout, as both men just wanted to get at one another, because you've seen the build-up. The build-up's been heated between these two, as it seems like anytime these two are together, they can't have a civilized match, and they just want to brawl with one another, and that's exactly what this was, a downright brawl between Jericho and Joe. And it ends in a draw when the time limit is reached. I mean, when the referee reaches the count of 10 and counted out both men, much to the chagrin of the audience. But the audience then realized they still have one more match. And I can tell you this much: this is far from over between Joe and Jericho, and it will head to WrestleMania. I apologize. I just apologize in advance for this segment, because I should have booked it a little better and not had it where it was dependent on the overness of Joey and Jamie. But live and learn. Now, I'm just going to read the caption for what the game says, because that's, better. The ring has been set up to resemble a funeral home with a casket and a picture of Randy Orton on the center of it. And Rollins, J&J Security make their way to the ring, and then Seth Rollins proceeds to give a eulogy, declaring that the career of Randy Orton is well truly dead, and that that when Rollins, as people have been saying, screwed Randy Orton out of the WWE World Heavyweight title at the Royal Rumble, and then ran him out of the building, that was the last time you would see Randy Orton, because Randy is a coward. And Randy is afraid of Seth Rollins. I ended the career of Randy Orton, just like I will end the career of Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, because I am the undisputed future of this company, and this briefcase proves that. because I have the right to to cash in this briefcase for a title shot any time I want, and I will become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion when that happens. Before Rollins can continue his eulogy, a familiar song starts to play. The crowd in the Verizon Center almost blows the roof off the place because Randy Orton is back, and Randy Orton charges towards the ring. But just as Randy Orton gets close to the ring, Rollins ducks out the other side, leaving both members of J&J security to take the brunt of Randy's attack. Unfortunately for Joey Mercury, Noble basically just took a clothesline. Mercury took an RKO. But that wasn't all. Randy gets his cold blue eyes focused on the Money in the Bank, on Mr. Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins, and doesn't take his eyes off of Rollins. The Viper is back in the WWE and has his eyes focused on Seth Rollins and ain't taking his eyes off of him. Now we move to to our last video package of the night, highlighting the main event between Daniel, Kane, MVP against the Wyatts. And wow, much to the surprise for me, in my opinion, I did not expect this match to get half as good as it did, but I'm very, very happy that it did, because the Wyatt family prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are one step ahead of Daniel and Kane, because the Wyatts win the match after a distraction from the debuting Monster Abyss. That's right, Abyss is in the WWE, and it's the newest member of the Wyatt family. Why? Because Abyss is better than Braun Strowman. Now we move forward. Ah, damn it. Ignore this. Because the announcers were talking up the contract signing and the fact that this makes the main event of WrestleMania official between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight title, as both men sign the contracts and make the world title match official for WrestleMania 31, as Brock Lesnar will defend his WWE World Heavyweight title against the 2015 Royal Rumble winner, Roman Reigns. Honestly, a little surprised that the pay-per-view got what it did. I did not expect that the pay-per-view would get a 79. I thought it would get a little bit better. But in any case, it increased our popularity in 36 regions, and in my opinion, by far the best pay-per-view we've done it is the best pay-per-view we've done thus far, and bordering on the best show we've done thus far. But this proves, once again, that as the pay-per-views keep coming, we're going to keep getting better and better, and this just means great things for WrestleMania. I just have to question, how exactly am I going to do the WrestleMania main event? But I have a month to figure that out before the night in question, because, boys and girls, this has been the last stop on the road to WrestleMania. Our next stop comes at the end of March. When we are live at Levi's Stadium for WrestleMania 31. If you thought the road to Fastlane was good, then, boys and girls, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you like the video, if you let me know down in the comment section below, what was your favorite part of the show, your least favorite part of the show, what would you have done different if this was you, and, as far as the road to WrestleMania goes, which feud are you looking forward to the most coming to a head? And the last thing I will say is, if you like the video, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this, that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. I will see you at Raw later.